Okay, so the final exam review pack, question number 5. Following chart gives drug concentrations versus time for a certain drug. Over which periods of time does the concentration increase or decrease? So the biggest problem people have is understanding that it's over a period of time, not at a time. So for example, over the period of time from 0 to 1, we have increase. And from 0.1 to 0.2, we have increase. But then from 0.2 to 0.3, we have decrease. So the number 0.2 occurs in both, right? It occurs on the upswing and the downswing. So here's the rest of this downswing, right? And then we have another upswing. So we go from here to here is an upswing, all right? And then we're going to have another downswing. Ooh, the whole rest of this is a downswing. Okay, so let's respond to this. Okay, so from t is from 0 to 0.2, and I don't care if you put equal signs or if you say t is equal to 0 to 0.2. There's all different ways you can write this. I want to make sure that you just understand what's going on here. Okay, so the yellow again is from 0.4 to 0.6. Okay, so it's that range. And then when it decreases is 0.2 to 0.4, and then from 0.6 to 1. Okay, so the yellows are the increases and the blues are the decreases, but they overlap. So that's the important point. All right, now using single steps forward, we're not doing the straddling thing. We want to estimate the derivative. Actually, I'm going to erase this marker. Okay, using this single steps forward, estimate numerically what the derivative is. And so each of the time steps is going to be 0.1, right? So when you divide by 0.1, you're multiplying by 10. So if you just subtract these guys and multiply by 10, that's all you're supposed to be doing. And there's already a little grid for you, but I can't show you the numbers and the subtraction at the same time. Okay, so what's 94 minus 89? That would be 5, so 0.05. But 0.05 times 10 is 0.5. So just put a 0.5 right here. Okay, and 100 minus 94 is 6, so 0.06 times 10 is 0.6. So let me write this down. We're doing 0.94 minus 0.89 divided by 0.1. So this is how we get that number. And this number here is 1.00 minus 0.94 divided by 0.1, and so on and so forth. Now, you have to watch out for this because the signs change. So let's just, for the moment, pretend like we just blindly took these. I'm going to put, there's no signs here. We're going to have to figure out what the signs are. Let's say we just accidentally dropped all our plus and minus signs, and we calculated these correctly. All right, let's say we did that, and then we went back and said, oh shoot, we didn't do this correctly. Well, we know the periods over which it's increasing and decreasing. So when it's increasing, it's positive, like we've written them, but between 0.2 and 0.4, it should be decreasing. So between 0.2 and 0.4, we're going to expect that the sign might be different, and between 0.6 and 1, the sign might be different. So we should just double check those, and so let's go ahead and see. All right, so let's go back and see where it decreased. So specifically at what transitions here. I'm going to use the highlighter again. Where is this? Okay, so it's increasing. So this is increasing. This guy is increasing. But aha, this guy is decreasing. But we're using the method where we go 0.96 minus 0.1 is going to be associated with 0.2. Time is equal to 0.2 when we're doing this subtraction here. Okay, it's a convention. We could have picked it the other way, but the instructions told you to do it this way. So at point 2, we should actually have a negative sign here. Okay, so if you forgot them, you can just go back and double check. And then it's decreasing. It's decreasing. It's decreasing for 2 time steps. So you know what? Sorry, it's really better to not forget your negative signs, because you're going to have to go back and recalculate them all anyway. Okay, so all those guys are negative. All right, so now for the next grid, you have 2 different options. You can either average the 2 numbers in the previous grid, or you can do it from scratch. So let's do it both ways. First of all, let's just average these 2 numbers, 0.5 and 0.6. Now, the only reason we can get away with that is all the time steps are exactly the same. If the time steps weren't the same, then this trick wouldn't work. All right, but they are the same, and so I'm going to go ahead and do that. What's 0.6 minus 0.4 is 0.2, and then we divide by 2 and get 0.1. All right. So what about 0.4 and 0.1 is 0.5, so it's negative 0.5. Negative 0.25 is half of that. Then what? We have these 2 guys. We're going to have negative 0.1 and 0.2, so that's 0.1. Half of it is 0.05. Okay. Then we have 0.2 and 0.1. You add them, get 0.3. Half of it is 0.15. Okay. Then when we go 0.1 minus 0.8, you get minus 0.7. Half of that is minus 0.35. Okay, now we have 0.8 and minus 1.1, which is minus 1.9. It's getting a little harder to do in your head. You know, if you don't want to do it in your head, that's fine. So negative 1.9 divided by 2 should be 0.95. Okay, that's fine. So we write that down. And we have negative 1.1 and negative 1.6, negative 2.7. That should be 1.35, but it's negative 1.35. Okay, and what's the last one? Okay, we have negative 1.6 and negative 2.2. It shouldn't be too bad because they're both even. Minus 3.8. So negative 1.9 is half of that. Great. Okay, so that is the easiest way to do that problem, because you're actually going to be finding the average. So it's like you're looking ahead and you're looking behind at the same time, and you're averaging them. But what if that's not the formula you decided to use? That's fine. There's another technique that does the same thing. Let's think about that. See if it gives the same results. It's straddling. So if I'm at 0.1, what I do is I go 1 minus 0.89, but I don't divide by 0.1, I divide by 0.2, because now we're time stepping 0.2. And so we go ahead and, so what we're doing is we're actually saying 1.00 minus 0.89 divided by 0.2. You can pull out the calculator if you wish. 1 minus 0.89, hit the equals, and then divided by 0.2 equals 0.55, which is the same thing we got down below. Here we go. And all those will work the same way. Let me just pull one out, like 0.7. Let's try that one. Okay, 0.7, we're going to straddle. We're going to say 0.79 minus 0.98 divided by 0.2 and see what that equals. 0.79 minus 0.98 equals, divided by 0.2 equals minus 0.95. And that's what we got. So, yep, 2 different ways of getting that sequence.